Hey there, Jeff here. Welcome back to Imagination Tech. Want access to better balanced chargers without having to buy an expensive power supply? You might already have one sitting in a drawer. If you've ever looked at a decent or a good balanced charger and wonder why so many of them don't plug directly into an AC socket, well, the answer is really simple, and that's a good thing. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn your old laptop charger into a proper power supply and why doing so unlocks a lot better charging options. Stay tuned. Alright, so first let's go ahead and take a look at what chargers are available in the market. And the one charger that I see most often recommended to people in FPV, whether they're newbies or more experienced FPV pilots, is the Cont'd D6 Pro LiPo charger. And with good reason. This is a very good charger. It has 2 channels. It's a very good charger, and it's only $107 on Amazon, so it's not really expensive. But it has a built-in AC, and it's very big, very bulky, so it's not something that you would put in your bag or carry around when you're going to the field, etc. So it is a charger that you would most likely put in your house and where you would charge your batteries, and if you're not going to be traveling a lot or you don't need to pack light. So yeah, so if you're looking at other chargers that require an external power supply, you can take a look at the ToolkitRC M7, or let's take a look at this M7, which is only $43, but it does not have a DC power supply. You can have the ToolkitRC M6D as well. It is $100 and also does not have a power supply, although this one already comes with a bundle that has the power supply as well. So yeah, by itself, the ToolkitRC M6D, let's take a look at the price. Okay, so by itself, the ToolkitRC is around $76, so it's about $30 cheaper than the Cont'd D6 Pro. So if you're going to buy the one bundled with the ADP 100 watt power supply, this is going to set you back another $24 for a total of $100, or if you can buy them separately at $30. And other chargers like the ISDT Q8 comes in around $89. So this is also a very nice charger. It can charge up to 8S, so that's not something that you would be able to do with a Cont'd D6, because I believe this only goes up to 6S for each channel, but I think you can charge up to, yeah, it only goes up to 6S. So an exception I might take would be this SkyRC B6 AC Neo Balance charger, which is great if you're just charging one battery, or if you're just if you're going to be using this on your travels, because it's very compact, very light, and it's also comes with an AC AC built in. So it is great for travel, but it also limits you, because once you buy this, then it's all in one unit, so you can't mix and match. And again, if you're buying a power supply, this will set you back at least $30. So if you have an old laptop adapter lying around in one of your drawers that's no longer being used, then you can build one for free, or almost free. You just need you're just going to need some XT60 connectors, or if you don't have a spare laptop power supply, you can always buy one. I got one cheap for around $10, $9, something like that, so you can always check on eBay. So right now, let's go ahead and go to the workshop, and I'll show you how to convert your old laptop charger into a power supply. So this is the charger that I've been using with, and I've mostly been traveling with this one. And I think this came from an old laptop I had. So this one is outputs 19 volts, which is pretty standard for a lot of laptop chargers or laptop power bricks, and at 4.74 amps max, and that gives you roughly around 90 watts total. So that 90 watts is plenty, because you only need like around 32 if you're charging a 6S 1300 milliamp hour 6S battery. So if you're charging something like a lithium ion battery, like a 21700, like a Molicel P42B, and you're charging it at 4.2 amps, this is probably not going to be enough, but you can still charge it at 3 amps, and that's still plenty. So the reason why these power bricks from laptop chargers are really good is because they have a lot of inbuilt protection. So it has thermal protection when it gets too hot. It has overcurrent protection, so you practically cannot destroy this power brick, because if you draw too much amps or if it gets too hot, it'll just shut down. You just unplug it and give it a few seconds, plug it again, and it's going to continue working. And you know, I've overdrawn current from this countless times. It just turns off, and I just give it a few seconds, and it's back ready for action again. Now we are going to be using this for demonstration on how to wire this thing. So before I created this one, you really don't need this. This is just a fuse, so you can actually cut a lot more. And I've almost never undid these wires, because these wires are too long anyway. So what we can do is we can probably just cut it somewhere here, and we'll just remove the rest of this cable, because we don't really need it. This fuse is just for for the laptop additional protection. Plus I can use this additional wire to power my laptop from my solar battery, or rather my power station. So I'm going to probably leave just this amount of wire, probably up to this one. Yeah, I'll probably cut it here. Just taking a look at this adapter first. This one has a also 19 volts, also 4.74 amps, and also 90 watts, just the same as this one. It's a little bit lighter, so it's going to be great for it's going to be better for travel, because I guess improvements in technology, I guess, because this is a few decades older than this one. So we are just going to cut up this wire. So all you need to do is get your wire cutter. Make sure this hasn't been plugged for a while, but I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. So you just cut that. We are just going to strip the rubber from here. So I do have this really old wire stripper. That makes the job a lot easier. So you can see here, there is a I'm not sure if this is visible, but you can see there's wires here, and there is another insulated wire at the center. So this is a coaxial cable. This is what you call a coaxial cable. So if you've worked with FPV antennas before, it's the same thing. You have your grounding wire around and your positive wire at the center. So at least that's what we assume. And they are separated by this white insulator. Okay, so if you want to double check, you can use a multimeter. You can plug this in and use a multimeter to see which one is ground and which one is positive. So, just for those who don't know how to use a multimeter, you touch the black rod here and the red rod here. And then if it gives you a positive number, which is 19 volts, then that means that the red is the positive and the black is the negative. But if it gives you a negative number, the polarity is reversed, and this one is the negative and this one is the ground. Okay, so first things first is to tin the ends of our power supply. Again, if you're not comfortable doing the soldering, it's never a bad option to choose an already pre-built power supply adapter. Okay, now we just need to get an XT60 connector like this and make sure, you know, the positive side is the one with the flat side and the negative side is the one with the angles. So let's solder in the positive side first. Well, actually, before we do that, let's just add some solder onto this first. So before we solder on the XT60 connector, let's just slide in a piece of heat shrink. Actually, I sometimes do double wrapping using one big and one smaller size heat shrink, and I'll show you later how it looks like. All that we need to do is just solder this here. Okay, and do the same for the ground wire. And it should look like something like this. Now the first heat shrink will just go over the wires, and once we use our heat shrink, rather our hot air blower, it's gonna, you know, be a nice snug fit over these wires. And then this one goes over that one, as well as the XT60 plug for additional protection and for security, so it, you know, it doesn't get tugged at because of this extra protection. So it's going to go over here like this. Obviously, we need to shrink this part first, and we shrink that other one once this is snug tight over. So this is what it looks like with the first heat shrink shrunk down. So this is what it looks like when it's all been done. And the moment of truth is plug it in your charger, and if you did it right, then nothing should be exploding, and it should be giving you around here, you can see 19.7 volts, and this should be very capable of providing 90 watts or more than enough for charging two 6X packs for your FPV. So this is what happens when you charge beyond the capacity of this adapter. So let's just bump this up to 5.2 amps. This one to 4.2 amps, which is 1C for both batteries. But this is like more than the 4.74 amps that this adapter should be able to provide. And at first it's gonna, you know, just gonna do its thing until it heats up too much and it says enough is enough, and it's gonna shut down. But unfortunately, this battery is already almost full, so it's already tapering down. Let's just try to do like 7 amps on this other one. It's not really 2C, so it's not gonna damage the battery, but it's like 5.5 amps, which is we're overdrawing current from this adapter, and it's not supposed to, burst into flames. It's just gonna shut down. But I guess it has some tolerance. Let's just bump it up some more, and it's shut down. So nothing to worry about. We just give that a couple of seconds to rest. Unplug it from the outlet. Okay, so I just unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it's all good. So that's how you can turn a laptop charger into a balanced charger power supply, and why separating your charger from your power source gives you way more flexibility long term. And once you go the DC charger route, you no longer have to be locked in to the bulky all-in-one units, and you can now choose freely which chargers will actually fit your needs. So I hope you found this video useful or entertaining, and if you did, please click on that like button so more people will see this video, and also make sure you're subscribed. Right? So I am going to leave you with that. As always, keep building and keep playing.